Hi there, my name is Matthew Krajewski, author of Modern Magic, Reclaiming Your Magical Heritage. You can learn more about the book as well as find out places to buy by going to www.magicalheritage.com. Today I want to continue the discussion about the book um, regarding something that hovers around the book and was a big part of writing the book, but which I don't address directly in the book because it wasn't relevant to the subject matter. But in these series of videos, which are ongoing to expand upon ideas of the book as well as the process of writing itself, that would be a great, forum to discuss and share with you why I left my career in technology, left Silicon Valley, and chose to pursue my career as a writer. So for, I think it was close to 7, maybe even 8 years, I worked in Silicon Valley, 5 years at a startup, and then 2 years acquired by a very large retailer. And initially I was drawn to it because it was a good outlet for my creativity as well as my intellect. But when the company I worked for got acquired, I found myself in a very different environment, in a very different type of person. And around the same time, I was going through a spiritual awakening, which I share in detail in my book, Modern Magic. And I read all the time. And career articles always catch my attention, especially recently. There's been a number of them, and a lot of times they talk about, one in particular caught my attention about kind of reaching your breaking point with a job and advising people not to go off the deep end and leave the job but figure out what they can do to change it or change themselves. And I think it's sound advice, but for myself, it was not applicable, as a lot of things are, I find. I had found that through my spiritual awakening and the path that I was on, it wasn't just a way to strengthen my life or strengthen my resolve or it wasn't something to just tack on to my existing life. It was something that completely turned my world upside down, as I think mysticism tends to do to people once they really authentically engage with it. As a result, I found myself accepting energy and accepting myself as an energetic being and realizing that for most of my life, this is what I had experienced, but there was just no language for it. No one talked about it. No one even gave it any credence in the areas where it does pop up, like psychic abilities or premonition, divination, these things that are kind of, I would say, pushed to the side of accepted or normalized society. And they were just small, indicators of what living life energetically can really bring you. As a result of awakening into a more energetic being and being aware of this is how I was experiencing the world was through energy, I found that my work environment was intolerable. It was making me sick, very sick. The anxiety, the fear, were only amplified by the negative stream of emotions that I could feel and sense pouring off of people every day in this corporate office building. I dreaded walking into the office building because it would hit me like, have you ever been on a New York City subway and that hot wind comes rushing through the tunnel? Experiencing negative energy for someone that is sensitive is a lot like that. It's just this rush of hot, stale wind is the best way that I could describe it. And, I've been dealing with this for months. I had to come to the conclusion that I couldn't live like this. I couldn't keep going into this place. And certainly wasn't something I could discuss with my boss or anyone. They would just be like, well, you're doing what now? You're experiencing what? How? Why? And nevertheless, it was my truth. And I knew that that's what I was experiencing was this energy. And being a mystic and a shaman, I definitely conferred with my guides and asked for guidance, and was basically told I didn't have to stay there. That, in a sense, what I was experiencing was a wake-up call for me to understand that this is how I experience the world, and to take the right measures to protect myself and ensure that I'm not overwhelmed and that I'm not sponging up negativity, because that was what was really occurring. Is that by being in this negative environment day in and day out and interacting with these types of people, I would sponge it up because we are porous creatures. That's kind of foundational to understanding biological energy fields. Everything's connected. Our emotions don't stay put in our bodies. They emanate outward. And that's just one type of energy signature. So being in I would say, office environment where a lot of people are either afraid or fearful, for a sensitive individual like myself that's magically predisposed, it was torture. So I had to leave. That was really the catalyst for why I left the world of technology, but it was also because I'd reached a point where I'd come to accept my identity as a writer. I had written novels, short stories, screenplays, so many things over the last 10 years, and had never had it published. And around the time of my spiritual awakening, I was getting advice from my guides to write about spirituality. And it started small at first, but as it grew, I realized this is what I was supposed to write. This is why I hadn't published before. It was because I was being drawn to something I'd never really considered, which was to write about spirituality, and, in my opinion, a different type of spirituality that's specific to this moment in time, my age group, what people need, a lot of different things. I'd say this in the book, and it's apt here too, as Toni Morrison once said, write the book that you would want to read. So that's why I wrote Modern Magic. And I needed time, because a lot goes into publishing something, especially when you are a self-published writer like myself. You are not just the writer, you are your marketing team and your strategist and your social marketing guru and everything that goes along with it. And you have to wear all these different hats. And there was no way that I could continue with my, I would say, high-octane career in Silicon Valley as well as write the things that I wanted to write. So, as of today, Modern Magic: Reclaiming Your Magical Heritage is available for purchase. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, hardcover, softcover, and ebook copies. If you'd like to learn more, please go to www.magicalheritage.com. And I look forward to continuing the conversation. Bye for now.